Karibuni to the Now Report on TV47. My name is Brian Furaha. Na wiki ni kama inasonga haraka sana. We are finally here on Wednesday and the weather today is a bit more favorable. Si baridi kama vile ilikuwa jana na juzi, but then the Nairobi weather can get a bit confusing. But before tuanze, lazima tena niwakumbushe tu Manchester United wanashinda ligi this season. And that is my opinion and we will see how that ends up going. But nakwambia watashinda. You have to have faith in me, guys. Man United is the biggest team out there. Away from that, acha tuanze kazi. Now, some fantastic public health news coming out of East Africa. Uganda is officially Ebola free. The country has completed its mandatory 42-day monitoring period with 0 new cases reported. That 42-day mark represents 2 full incubation periods since the last patient was successfully treated and discharged back in June. This outbreak involved the rare Bundibugyo strain, recording 20 total cases. But thanks to rapid testing, digital contact tracing, and quick isolation measures, health teams managed to break the chain of transmission completely. It is a massive win for the region and a real masterclass in how swift, coordinated action can stop a dangerous virus right in its track. And yes, check in the video mwanzo.
Our frontline health workers, district local governments, community health workers, security agencies, communities, you, the media, researchers, partners, and all Ugandans for your relentless hard work and sacrifice. You count 42 days because the incubation period of Ebola is 21 days. When you get infected, you can develop symptoms in a period of 2 to 21 days. So we usually count 2 cycles of incubation period. And while you are counting those days, is that you are suspecting that there could be local transmission going on, which you have not detected. So within 42 days, if there was an infection somewhere in the country, it will have come out through symptoms.
Well, Nico, sure we have Kenyans out who are just breathing a sigh of relief. You guys, it was right at the neighbor's door. Well, hopefully things stay the same because, again, this is a very... Ebola is no joke, guys. And I'm glad that they actually have found relief and it will keep like that, hopefully. That is my prayer as me. Now, history has been made in Algeria, where Parliament has elected its first ever female speaker. Khalida Boufedeche, a former medical doctor and politician from the ruling National Liberation Front, now becomes the 4th highest ranking official in the country. Her historic rise comes after her party took the spot in recent elections, a vote marked by a record low turnout of just 21%. Boufedeche takes the helm at a critical moment for gender equality in the country. Women hold just 6% of the seats in this current assembly, down sharply from the previous years after quota systems were phased out. It marks a major breakthrough for leadership at the very top, even as female representation in the legislature hits a significant slump. Shukran. Now, come on Nigeria and you filled up your gas tank there lately, you already know the pain at the pump is very real. But those soaring petrol prices are actually sparking a massive game-changing shift on the roads, and drivers are officially ditching fuel for electric power. With petrol costs climbing higher than ever, more and more Nigerians are switching to electric vehicles to save their wallets, of course. We are talking about charging an EV for roughly a fifth of what it costs to fill a traditional tank for the exact same distance. Throw in solar-powered charging stations and flexible pay-as-you-go plans, and electric mobility is quickly morphing from a futuristic idea into a very practical everyday move. It turns out the smartest way to beat high fuel prices might just be plugging in instead. Now?
From fossil fuel vehicles to electric was all about the energy cost, trying to save the cost of running. With the energy crisis the whole world is facing today, cost of fuel have risen by almost, let me say, 200 to even 300% here in Nigeria. I consume around 11 to 13,000 naira against around 70,000 naira that I spend almost weekly on fueling. So you could see the difference is just too high. So in addition to that, electric vehicle have less mechanical components. So there is no engine oil, changing of servicing of the engine oil, and other minor mechanical faults that you normally have on the petrol-powered vehicle.
I was trained for technician in China last year. After we came back, we now opened our workshop, which is African Motor Works. From there, we start working on EVs. All company of EVs, we can check your car, diagnose your car, and repair it for you. Some of the EVs, we are getting the parts in markets, while some we used to place order. Because in terms of placing order, when we place order, we can get that part in 3 days, maximum 4 days. So we don't have challenge on that, I think.
Well, pole vile kunaenda, I see many people actually turning to electric vehicles, especially Kenya. Of late nimekuwa na kiziona mingi sana, of course the hybrid ones, and of course the fully electric versions, and it makes sense with the rising fuel prices and everything. Kama kundo tunaelekea, it still is a welcomed venture, because again it's a lot more healthier, and of course the climate yenyewe inasaidika. Now, kama ushaisimama mbele ya fridge January, wishing ungeza ingia ndani na ujifungie, well, Japan has officially made your dream a reality. To combat brutal summer heat waves, innovators in Japan have unveiled a novel solution: a full-sized human refrigerator designed as an instant cooling chamber for sweltering pedestrians. The walk-in pod rapidly drops body temperatures to provide quick relief from scorching outdoor conditions. It might sound like something straight out of a sci-fi comedy, but with heat stroke risk on the rise, it is a serious piece of public wellness tech disguised as the ultimate summer treat. So, najua sahi tuko July, lakini kama wewe ni mwanabiashara, anza koda hizi fridge utuweke hapo archives by January juu tutazihitaji, my guys. I think, yeah, that idea will be great in our country. By the way, unajua vile joy na tuchapanga in Nairobi sometimes. Mwanzo kama unakakitengela. Yeah. Huko kwa vumbi. Anyways, guys, if you've been hoping for some relief on your household budget, the latest UK economic forecast has a serious reality check for your wallet. A new report warns that Chancellor John Healey is staring down a 4% spending squeeze by the end of the decade. And it's going to hit much closer to home than just Whitehall spreadsheets. Because the UK is currently paying the highest borrowing cost in the G7, the national credit card is maxed out. That means the government can't just borrow money to fix public services or fund defense. It is going to take higher taxes or frozen tax thresholds, leaving you with less take-home pay. Now, to make matters tighter, experts are signaling another interest rate hike could be on the horizon, keeping mortgages and loan repayments steep. From longer waits for public services to persistent prices at the grocery checkout, this budget crunch is coming straight for everyday household finances.
Okay, so given that path for unemployment, what do we think?
The basis for the government there is that you allow inflation to do the work and you kind of take the real terms hit, or you try to operate the nominal budgets to try and restore the real earnings, real spending there, so that you keep the real purchasing power of those budgets. So there has to be some cost of this shock, right? So it's a supply shock, means that inflation is going to go up. As a result, essentially, the government has to kind of absorb that cost somewhere or another. And one way of absorbing it is that basically you don't operate those budgets and real spending erodes the real spending power of government.
Now, you know how we usually think of icebergs as these huge motionless blocks of ice just floating in place? Well, nature decided to prove us wrong in the most dramatic way possible off the coast of Greenland. Some lucky spectators caught incredible video of a massive iceberg doing a full violent flip right in the middle of the ocean. Millions of tons of ice rolled over in just seconds, sending huge waves everywhere and revealing a dark, glassy underside that hadn't seen daylight in years. Turns out, as things melt from underneath, their weight balance shifts until they completely tip over. Thankfully, nobody was hurt, but if you needed a quick reminder of just how wild and unpredictable Mother Nature can be, this is definitely it. I feel like that will low-key scare me, yeah? What if the waves, like it has enough force to let to land anyways? Let's gladly, we are glad it didn't take that direction. Now, 300 couples gathered at Haliru Abdu Stadium in Benin, Kebbi in Kebbi State to participate in large-scale state-backed inclusive mass wedding ceremony. Spearheaded by the Kebbi State government in partnership with the Nafisa Nasir Charity Development Foundation, which is NANAS, the multi-faith initiative brought together 600 Muslim and Christian brides and grooms drawn from across the states. 21 local government areas. Now, to ease the economic burden on the participating families, Governor Nasir Idris approved full funding for bridal dowries alongside state-provided furniture, household essentials, and basic appliances produced by local craftspeople. State officials and religious leaders emphasize that the annual social welfare program, which mandates comprehensive premarital health screenings, aims to build aims to build resilient family structures, promote interfaith harmony, and support vulnerable citizens through targeted economic relief. It's just a thought in my head. Kuna mtu mahali alikuwa amesema, guys, we can't get married. Hakuna pesa. And then this happened and they were like, oh God. Anyway, it's let me tend to cap. Now, if you've ever wondered what happens when Jurassic Park meets the future, Shenzhen just gave us a pretty wild answer. China's tech capital has officially opened a spectacular new museum, and it's already drawing massive crowds. The big draw, massive ancient dinosaur fossils paired with cutting-edge AI technology. Instead of just staring at old bones behind glass, visitors are getting to see these prehistoric giants brought to life with interactive AI displays and immersive visuals. It's part ancient history, part futuristic tech, and honestly, easily one of the coolest ways to stand face-to-face with a T-Rex without needing a time machine. It looks really beautiful, doesn't it? I would really love to visit that. Anyways, when reporters asked about the European Commission about Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's recent flight path to Washington, EU officials gave them a masterclass in dodging the question. Netanyahu's plane flew right through the airspace of several European nations. Now, that raised plenty of eyebrows, considering the International Criminal Court issued an arrest warrant for him, meaning ICC member state would legally be obligated to detain him if he set foot on their soil. So when journalists pressed the commission on whether allowing his overflight violates those legal commitments or what would happen during an emergency landing, officials completely sidestepped. They deflected by stating that airspace management and ICC enforcement fall strictly on individual member states. It leaves a pretty awkward legal gray area hanging in the air, right alongside the flight path itself.
That's the clear position of the European Commission when it comes to SAFE and a safe implementation. Why? Because SAFE is playing a crucial role for Europe's security. I don't think I need to highlight this a lot. We see it on a daily basis in Ukraine. We have seen, and Anwar just said it, drone incursions in Romania, to name just one of the several member states that have been targeted. So no, we have no time to lose. Let me first set the record straight. Italian was the member state that asked for 14.9 billion euro. And Italian has received from us an approved budget of 14.9 billion euro. Now, what is important for us is that we quickly move to the next stage. So obviously, the Italian industry is playing a key role for Europe's security. So In the ideal situation, definitely, we want Italy to stick to the 14.9 as announced today, and this is a very, very positive development. Now, the importance is that we need to move forward to the signature of the loan agreement, because we need to disperse the money to kickstart the project. So this is the timeline we're looking at. Should something change budget-wise, then we're even more in an urgent situation, because that money has to be reallocated through a new call to other member states who may wish to take additional loans under SAFE. So that's the situation. Key message, we have no time to lose. We need to speed up the process and move to the next step.
Honestly, it's really hard to get a direct answer from a politician, but otherwise, that was all from me today, guys. That is the Now Report on TV47. Next, need TV47 at 1. Johnny Daddy Mato comes in the Now Report yet again. Take care and have a lovely day, guys.